Hello. Uh, Hi friends. Today we are going to start the paper number 15A, the second unit of this paper, that is the aquaculture for the semester 6. Okay, so friends, see here, in this unit we are going to study the culture methods. In that we are going to study the pen culture, or we discuss the cage culture, what is pen culture, what is cage culture. Then the second point in this unit is the sewage fed fish culture. So we will discuss the composition of sewage, then use of sewage for fish culture, and third point is fish species suitable for sewage fed fish culture. And the third and the last point of this unit is the man-made hazardous and aquaculture. Particularly in this third point, we will discuss about the domestic sewage, then the agricultural sewage, and industrial effluents. Okay, so we'll start with the pen culture. What is pen culture? Where it used? Okay, so pen culture. So it is a pen cultures. Pens are enclosures, a blocking device which act as a barrier preventing the entry of undesirable animals and fishes, ensuring the safety of the cultural stock. Whatever the fishes we have stocked in the particular confined area, okay, so to ensure them safety, and that's why some barriers that uh, preventing the entry of the undesirable animals. Okay, so the system ensure higher survival rate and better yield. So pen culture, what it gives a higher survival rate when we release the fingerlings or other fish species in the particular area. So it gives what, it gives a higher survival rate along with the better yield, means production is more in the pen culture. Okay, so the farming system can be operated in the marginal areas of the large water bodies and could be considered as an eco-friendly type, as it does not interfere with other activities or pollute the environment. So this, the pen culture is very important because it is an eco-friendly activity, and with this pen culture it does not interfere with other activities, or it doesn't pollute the environment. Okay, so it is very eco-friendly activity. And the pens are constructed by split bamboo and interlacing them with either can strips, coconut, or nylon twigs, or whatever the local material available for the interlinking. Okay, so fish farmers or fishermen, they can easily use the particular local material also. Okay, so bamboo screens thus constructed erected in an ideal site where ingress and egress of water is not extreme. So it is very important criteria for this pen culture. It is ideal site. So it is what it is, ingress and egress of water is not extreme. So that should be, that site should be selected for the pen culture. And over the framework of bamboo poles, where pen screens are strongly fixed, and the screens except the shore side cordon the entire area under the pen operation. Okay, and when we think, or when we search the literature, okay, so recent results in the use of edges, pens, or enclosures and recirculating water systems suggests some ways of compact intensification of production in aquaculture given the accessory inputs. Okay, so this practice may provide great possibilities in the future in certain selected and suitable areas where the area, where ample water is there and the water is present for the throughout the year, and that particular water body we can use for the pen culture. Okay, now the next is the site selection of pen culture, means what type of site should be selected for the pen culture activity. So the very first important aspect in this is the low tidal amplitude. It should be low tidal amplitude is there. Okay, then the fish pen site must be sheltered as much as possible against high winds. Whatever the high wind is there, okay, so it should be it should be sheltered. It must be sheltered before the whatever the panes we have fixed in the particular space. Okay, then depth not less than 1 meter during lowest water level. Whenever the water level decreases, okay, so at that time the depth of the particular site is not less than 1 meter. Okay, and the best site is on the leeward side of the prevailing winds with moderate flow of current, especially in place where current is overturning. Okay, and then next is the water with a stable pH. Slight variation is best. You know, the when we the stagnant water is there, so pH is it is in a stable condition. Okay, and number of times you get a variation, varied also. Okay, so avoid turbid and polluted water for the pain culture practice. When we select any site, at that time you should check before the selection that we should avoid the turbid and the polluted water for this practice. Okay, and the next is the muddy, clay and clay loam soils are best type of bottom soil. So too much steel and decomposing organic matter must be avoided for the pain culture practice. Okay, you can see in this picture the photograph showing the pain culture at village pond. Just you can see in this area. See here the bamboo pole is there and the screen is attached. Okay, and along with this bamboos, okay, it entangled with the local available material, and one side is all closed, and these fishermen they fishing or they are capturing the fishes in the pens. Okay, so it is a photograph of the pain culture at a village pond. Okay, now the flow chart of pain culture. So see here how we used or how we cultured the fishes in the pens. So first of all we have to select the site. Okay, means what should good site is very important for the pen culture. Then if the number of weed is present in the water body, so before the releasing the fishes in the pens, you have to clear the weeds. Whatever the aquatic weeds present in the water body, you should clear before the release the fishes in the pens. Okay, means the emergent weed is there, floating weed is there, then the marginal weeds there. Okay, so you have to remove these weeds from the water body. And the procurement of paint material. Then after clearance of the weeds, we have to collect the paint material for the construction. So next is the construction and erection of paint. With the help of local available material, you should take local available material for this paint for the construction of the paint. Okay, then the application of lime is very important as far as the paint culture is concerned. Okay, so how to apply the lime as per requirement or whatever the standard rate is there. Okay, so we have to apply the lime in the particular water. Then the next is the seed stocking. Okay, in the form of a fry or in the form of fingerlings, you can easily store the seed into the particular when the paint is prepared. Okay, after preparation of paint, then you add or you release the seed into the paint. Okay, then the another important criteria in this is the supplementary feeding, that is the artificial feeding. So along with the no doubt in the water media or in the water, the natural food is there, means in the form of like plankton, zooplankton or other the material is natural food is present. But if we want more production, if you want more production of fishes, then you have to give the artificial feed. So on the ecological niches or on the depend on their feeding habits, you have to select the feed for the fishes. Okay, so the next is the supplementary feeding. In that you have to feed the artificial food to the fishes. Okay, and later on after along with the feeding, we have to sampling and monitoring is also important criteria in the pen culture. Means we have to sample at every 10 or at every week. We have to collect the fishes from the or you can collect the fish from this pen and just sample it, you just observe it, or you just monitor the fish for the diseases, for the good survival percentage. Okay, so we have to sampling and monitoring those fishes which were added into the pens. And after the period is over of culture, then you are easily harvested the cultured fishes. So, and after that, the last criteria in this is the marketing. Means whatever the fishes we have harvested in the pen, that should be market fastly, because we know the fish is fish is the easily what we can say that the it is very easy perishable commodity. Okay, so next, in India, although pen culture technology has become popular in states like West Bengal, Assam and Bihar, no doubt the Assam, then the West Bengal and the Bihar, these are the states in our India, they are very famous, and the people or the fishermen from the area, from that particular states, they use this technology for the culturing the fishes. Okay, it has not been sufficiently percolated to other parts of the country, no doubt. In other parts of the country, in other part of the states in our India, it is not fully percolated, means it is not famous, okay, or popularized. So same is the case with the seed raising in pens for reservoirs also. So going by the success and rate of the adaptation of the technology in Assam and West Bengal, there is ample scope in popularizing this technology to other parts of the country. We know when we release the fry into the water, any water body, at the time the mortality is very high and number of predators also present in the water body, so they can easily feeds on the fries which we have released. Okay, so for avoiding this type of problems, okay, so you can use the pens in reservoirs for the what you can say the seed raising. Okay, so it is very important that this technique or the pen culture practice is it is very ample scope in our India to popularize this technology in other part of the country. And however, it may be kept in mind that though the pen culture can augment the fish production, the environmental, social and economical aspects should be given due importance. Whenever we use any technology for the fish raising, when at that time you should remember the environment, you should remember the social and economical aspect. Okay, and later on you can adopt the particular technology. Okay, so this is about nothing about the pen culture. So it is very important technique, and it is very again it is a huge scope in our India, but in slowly but steadily the progress is in on pen culture is. Okay, so next is the cage culture. So cage culture means what? So it is growing of fishes in existing water body resources while being enclosed in a net cage which allows free flow of water. We have to we have to give the enclosed environment to the fishes. So it refers to the type of culturing units consisting of a framed net open at the top and floating on the surface, or when completely enclosed, the cage is kept below the water surface by adjustable buoyancy or suspending from the surface. So the cage aquaculture is one of the method of aquaculture has grown very rapidly during the past 20 years, and presently undergoing rapid changes in the response to pressure from globalization and growing demand for aquatic products. No doubt, as population increases, our needs increases. We are means the seafood or whatever the fish commodity is there. So day by day the population increases and our demand increases. So for fulfillment the demands of the people in the form of diet as a fish, we have to accept this technology. Okay, and the move within aquaculture toward the development and use of intensive cage farming system was driven by a combination of factors, including the increasing competition faced by the sector for available resources, then the need of economies of scale and the drive for increased productivity per unit area. Okay, so particularly the need for suitable sites resulted in the sector accessing and expanding into new untapped open water culture areas such as reservoirs, rivers, coastal, brackish and marine offshore waters. Okay, and the fish production in cages became highly popular among the small or limited resources farmers who are looking for alternative to traditional agricultural crops. So see here, this technology can be used any of the fish farmers, because here the cage culture is advantageous for farmers as it offers a chance to maximum utilization of existing water resources. Okay, so therefore the farmers do not have to invest on accumulating water. Okay, so whatever the existing water is there, just utilize the water by using this cage culture technology. Okay, and the cage aquaculture has certain advantages over the aquaculture systems that are potentially important in terms of uptake by rural poor and landless people. No doubt, the rural poor people or the people who do not have or do the land for the farming purpose, so they can use this whatever the water resources we have. By using this water resources, they can easily get employment. Okay, then hence in the theory, where access to a water body can be achieved, landless people can grow fish in cages and obtain nutrition and income from the fish produced. Okay, so in addition, a common problem in traditional pond culture is that of multiple ownership. No doubt, when we think about the traditional pond culture, that was a single pond and owner is mover. Okay, means a single pond and the 10 or plus fishermen, they are depend on the single pond. So it is very common problem of traditional pond culture, that multiple ownership. But in this cage culture technology, it is not like that. It is a single man can culture the fishes in cages easily. Okay, by using the existing water resources. Now in cage aquaculture, the ownership issue is very simple. In that, owners of the cages are the owners of the fish within. Whatever the fish we have cultured, that fish is only the man, or it is going to the man who rear them, who cultured them in cages. Okay, means a very simple way. Okay, and generally fish in cages do not escape. It provided a top net is present and the cage remain undamaged. You have to just monitor the cages. When we install the cages, till the harvesting, you have to monitor the cages, you have to cleaning it, you have to just look after the particular cages. Okay, till the fish is harvested. Then cages also exclude predators, and caged fish are easily managed and harvested. No doubt, just we have discussed the pen culture, but in the cages, what we can say that in pen culture, it is the water body is more, but in cage culture, water the confined places there only. There is no problem of predators, there is no problem of other harvesting mechanism, so easily we can exclude the predators and it can be easily managed. Or lastly, when the harvesting is there, so in the particular cage culture technology, we can easily harvest the fishes. Okay, so the culture of fish in cages can be therefore be described as a promising aquaculture technology already proven in many other Asian countries. We have already number of example is there. No doubt, in our India also, the CMFRI also play a crucial role in the cage culture in a marine sector. Okay, now move towards the site selection of cage culture. In what places we install the cages. So site selection is the most important part of the cage culture. Proper site will reduce most of the problems arising during the culture period. Okay, just before the culture, we have to solve this problem. We have to solve, because when we select the best suitable site for the cage culture, then there is no problem for the future. Okay, or there is no problem in future for the culture of fishes. Okay, so it reduces the, what we can say that it reduces the most of the problems arising during the culture period and also reduce the cost of culture. So lakes, reservoirs, ponds, quarries, rivers and streams can be used as a potential sites provided that they should have adequate water with sufficient depth so that cage can be arranged in the sediment free water. So these are the sites where you can install the cages, but you should remember that these sites should have adequate water with a sufficient depth. Okay, and the cage units should be built to withstand against prevailing wind and wave condition also. So good water exchange is also an important factor to replenish the oxygen and flush away waste. So see here, it is very important again the factor that is the oxygen. So water should be exchangeable, means the flowing water is required here, because if in stagnant water we know the oxygen depletion or the decreasing oxygen is a very important problem, and the as far as the fish culture is concerned. So we have to check that this, when the site is selected, at that time the good water exchange is there. Okay, now when a cage fish farm is established, one has to consider the effect of the farm on the environment, and on the other hand the effect of the environment on the farm activity. So I just before the cage culture start, I discussed that when we select any environment, any new technology for the human welfare, at that time we have to think about the environmental consideration also. Means whatever the activity we have performed, by this activity there is no harm to the environment. Okay, so you have to remember that. Then the effects of cage farming on the environment. In flowing water, especially when large structures are placed in shallow water, the cages tend to act as a floating barrier, causing differences in speed, direction and ED as well. And however, the most discussed question is the effect of cage fish farming on water quality. So it is fact that in those waters where fish farms are operating, deposition of bottom sediment can occur, including the undesirable build-up waste material, that is uneaten food, metabolic waste. So whatever the artificial we have done in the cages, at that time all food is not utilized by the fishes, some food is remaining there, so that is uneaten food, and the metabolic waste is also reduced in the cages. Okay, so cage farming activity however can be done in conformity with the requirements of the environment, taking into account of the following consideration. Number one, the size of the cage culture plant, and thus the volume of the production has to be adjusted to the conditions provided by the given water body. And proper feeding technology should be applied with a special respect to the following. We have to, when we give the feeds, when we give the artificial or the supplementary food to the fishes, we have to remember that feed quantity, how much quantity we have to give unto the fishes, means not a low quantity and high quantity. We have to give the for example, the body weight is very important as far as the feeding quantity is concerned. So on the basis of body weight of the fish, 5% body weight of the fish, we can give the feed to the fishes. So feed quantity is very important, how much quantity you have you have given to the fishes. Then the feed quality, along with the quantity, the quality is very important, means not more food given to the fish, and that fish they are easily or they are fasting, their growth is faster because of given the plenty of food. No, just the quality is very important. Quality is play a crucial role while the in the cage culture, because whatever the artificial food we are given to the fishes, that should be completed in all respect. Means you have to give them protein, you have to give them their other requirement also, vitamins also, or the whatever the other important proteins also. Okay, so the quality is also important. Then the feeding method, how you give the feed to the fishes. Okay, so the method is also important in respect of fish culture. Then the quantity of feed should be adjusted properly according to the water temperature and the condition of the fish. Okay, so overfeeding should be avoided. I have already discussed that overfeeding is avoided, or it should be avoided, because if is plenty of food we have give them, then no doubt whatever they they have whatever the feed they take, and then later or remaining feed is again the problematic to the in the they are also remain in the cages, and in the future they create problems to the fishes. Okay, so we have to overfeeding should be avoided. The feed should be water stable and easily acceptable by the fish. Whatever the fish we have selected for giving for the fishes, we have to check that it is water stable, and the fish, whatever the fish we have cultured, that fish they should accept the food. Okay, so that type of feeds we have select. Then first of all, dry, then pelleted food is recommended. Okay, dry and pelleted food recommended for the cage culture, and in cage fish culture automatic feeders are also recommended. Means automatic feeders, what they just give the whatever the feeds, means number of places these automatic feeders are used. Okay, and aeration can also be applied in order to improve the environmental conditions. No doubt the physicochemical biological properties of the water is very important as far as the cage culture is concerned, because no doubt the cages are the small and the area is very confined, and the fishes they are not swim in a very large distance because of the confined area. So at that place we have to maintain the aeration, maintain the water quality is very important aspect. So by giving aeration or by using artificial aerators, we can easily increase the oxygen in the water body. Okay, so the water body outside of the cage can be stocked with certain species of fish in order to control the growth of plankton and benthic organisms. Again, when we culture the fishes in cages, but outside the cages we have released some fishes for the whatever the unused feed is there, that can be used by the fishes, and they can use to control or other planktons and benthic organisms also. Okay, and the sediment accumulated under the cages can be removed by the submersible pumps. We can use submersible pump also. So effects of environment on cage farming, what type of effects is there? So among the different effects of the environment on cage farming, two major factors have been noted, namely the damage caused by the predators and poaching. See here, no doubt the predators they are present in the water body, so they are the carnivorous species, especially the carnivorous animals, they damage to the cages, and again the poaching is very problematic, means poaching is very important problem among the cage farming. Okay, so the cage can be protected against birds with a top cover. No doubt the birds they are also they feeds on the fishes, and to avoiding or to protect the fishes from the birds, I have to give a top cover to the over the cage. Okay, and a double net can be installed in order to protect the fish stock from predators like rats, otters or turtles, etc. Whatever the other animals or the other predator animals, they are when they because no doubt in cages the fishes they are freely available, and a number of animals they are also going there into the cage, or by any way they can enter. So they have to double net you can install in order to protect the fish stock from the predators like rats, otters or turtles. Okay, and these animals can be kept away by dog, as well as if there is a walkway for the dog around the cages. When between the two cages, three cages, we build what we can say the walkway. So the dog is also helpful for the controlling of this type of animals. Okay, the cage fish farm has to be protected against poachers by ensuring permanent gardening, and some electrical and anti-poaching devices can be also used for this purpose. Okay, so again for poaching you have to guard them, you have to give one watchman at the place of cage culture. So that particular watchman is there by 24/7. Okay, so with this the poaching activity stop, and some electrical and other anti-poaching devices easily available in the market you can use for the stopping the poaching activity. Okay, services and operational consideration. So the sure facilities of cage fish culture plant should be well connected to the road. See here, it is very important that the when we select the fish site, at that time the site is near to the road is very important, or it is very connected to the road is very important. So electric energy supply and market as well have to be near the site. No doubt, if the electric energy, why? Because if the aeration is not in cage, okay, so if you have to install a artificial aerator in the place, you have to, or you have require electricity. So that's why the electric energy also is important, and for the market is also important for the marketing purpose. Okay, now the fabrication of cages. Cages were fabricated from strong, durable and non-toxic material with suitable size mesh. Then cage mesh should allow maximum flow of water through it, and adequate flowing of oxidated water is good for health of the fish and removes waste from the cage. Okay, the netting. The netting has three major functions. That is keeping the fish stock together. Whatever the fish we have used, it is keep the fish stock together. Then protecting the stock against harmful external influences. Okay, and allowing free water exchange between inside and outside water. This is the important work by the net. Okay, then most commonly used netting material is flexible nylon, since it is relatively expensive and it can be treated with chemical against anti-fouling. So no doubt, when we think about cage culture, just I have told you that when we construct the pen, you just use local material. So in this cage culture also, a local available material is very also important for the cage culture, and this nylon sleeve or nylon or the other materials also easily available in locally. Okay, so rigid netting material, for example rigid plastic, galvanized and plastic coated steels are also used in some cases. Then netting, the mesh size should be as large as possible and as per the fish size. What size of fish we have stock is very important for the selection of nets. Okay, means if we are stock fry stage, then the mesh size you have to use is very small. Okay, and if you are stocking the fingerlings in the cages, at that time the size or the mesh size is slightly more than this smaller one. Okay, so the larger and the mesh size, the better the oxygen supply of the stocks, and flowing problems are less as well. Okay, so the fouling of the net should be avoided by regular cleaning or the or by replacing it. We have to monitor the cage again and again. Means in a week you have to give attention toward the cage. For the you have to regular checkup, regular cleaning is done. Or if we found that there is some problem in net, or it some falling is noted, at that time you have to replace it. Okay, and heavy falling reduces the water exchange through the net wall and thus causes oxygen depletion inside the cage. So increases the net drag, requiring large and more expensive mooring, increases labor requirements in cleaning and replacing the net. Now fluids, again one of the another material for the cage is the fluids. The fluids should keep all the floating devices, means netting with frame, a feeder, walkway, etc. safely on the water surface, and empty barrels, plastic containers can be used for the as a fluids. Okay, in many areas in Pune, the Dimbe reservoir is there, and then particular Dimbe reservoirs there is a cage culture activity is practiced, and number of barrels, number of other plastic containers, they are used for this floating purpose. Okay, then the frame can be made of galvanized steel, aluminium, timber and different plastic materials. The frame should be mechanically strong, resistant against corrosion and easily repairable or replaceable. So it should be also important. Then selection of fish species. So according to the ecological niches, availability of fish seed and economically important fishes should be selected for the cage culture. No doubt, all the ecological niche is utilized by the fishes. That's why the selection, when we select the fish, at that time all three is surface, column and bottom water, and the all type of food can be taken by the fish. That is also important criteria for the selection of the fish species. Okay, and if in our local area whatever the fish is available, you can just select that particular fishes for the culture. And most important criteria is the economically important fish. Means the whatever the fish we have selected for this cage culture, they should sell or the demand is very high in the market. That point should be noted while selection of the fish species. Now the last is the advantages and disadvantages of cage culture. So the rearing and raising of fishes in cages is gaining importance all over the world because of its increasing technical, ecological, social and economic advantages over captured fishes and conventional aquaculture. See here, this cage culture technologies give option to the captured fisheries. No, we know the term captured fisheries, just go to the water body and release net and just capture the fishes and just sell it. But by this activity and by continuous exploitation of the same place, the number of species they are decreasing day by day, and the demand of the particular fishes in the market is very high, and by fulfillment of the demand of the people, this cage culture technology can be alternative for this capture fisheries. Okay, so many type of water bodies can be used. Open seas there, brackish water, estuaries, reservoirs, lakes, rivers, which cannot be effectively harvested for cage culture. Okay, then ownership is not required. I have just explained you that a single man can be start the cage culture. Okay, so it is ideal for poor and landless people. This is very one of the important advantage of this cage culture. Then fast growth of the stock compared to that in ponds, because the area is confined. We just then we give them feed regularly, we monitor them, we check the physical, chemical and biological properties of the water. So the fast growth of the stock is recorded, and 10 to 12 times higher yield than pond culture for comparable inputs and area. Means here it's important that 10 to 12 times more or higher in yields is recorded as compared to the pond culture. So it is also important advantages of this cage culture. Then monitoring of feeding, sampling, observation are very simple in this cage culture technology. It is not possible in pond culture. It is not possible in rivers. It is not possible in any reservoirs. But in cage culture, it is possible. We monitor the feeding, we monitor the sampling is easy. Then the observation is also easy in the cage culture technology. Okay, it reduces culture period. We can take 2 to 3 crops per year. That's why it reduces the culture period. Then it prevents loss of stock due to the flooding. If we know the number of in the June, July, August, the 4 month of monsoon, the number of times the flood is there, and along with the flood, the whatever the stock present in the water, they are kept lost. Okay, so but it prevents the loss of stock. Okay, during the flooding also, and no need for water replacement. There is no need. Just remember that the site which you have selected, that is important, because the flowing water is very important. Okay, so can be conventionally located near urban markets and harbors, avoiding the need for fish preservation and transportation. Another advantage is the no need to preservation, no need to long transportation, because if we select this site near to the urban area or near to the roadside, then it is very easy to accessible to the market, and the fish condition fishes they are going to the market. Okay, and affords easy controls of fish reproduction in tilapia. We know the Odicrumus mosapica, that is tilapia, commonly called as tilapia. It is prolific breeder and breeds twice in a year, and this cage culture technology can be used to avoid easy control of fish production. Okay, we can monosex culture in cage culture easily used. Okay, harvesting is very simple and complete harvesting is done in the cage culture technology. It is another advantages of this cage culture. Then optimal utilization of feed. Whatever the fish we have given to the fishes in the cages, all, but they are not all, but near about 90% feed is easily utilized by the fishes. Okay, means optimum utilization of food is there. Then initial investment relatively small. Okay, and it also has a social advantages in that landless people can find habitation and employment in cage aquaculture. Okay, now I have just explained the advantages of cage culture, but in any technology we have seen number of technologies, but when the technology has advantages, along with the advantages it has some disadvantages also. So see here some disadvantages of this cage culture is the stock is vulnerable to external water quality problem, for example algal blooms, low oxygen levels. It is one of the disadvantages of the cage culture. Then growth rates are significantly influenced by ambient water temperatures. If the temperature is ambient, then the growth rate is influenced or significantly influenced. Okay, it is also one of the disadvantages of this cage culture. But by taking some efforts, we can just overcome these disadvantages also. Then food must be nutritionally complete and kept fish fresh. When we release or when we give the food to the fishes, that feed is that feed is nutritionally completed and it can be fresh, so that can be give to the fishes. If that particular is not happen, then the number of diseases arises. Okay, so this is also one other disadvantages of the cage culture. Then low dissolved oxygen syndrome, that is LODOS, is an ever present problem and may require mechanical aeration. I just told you that artificial aerator requires for the increasing the oxygen in the water. Okay, so the incidence of disease can be high and disease may spread rapidly. So because of this, if the single or one or two species may affect other fishes also. Okay, so that can be easily disease may spread easily or rapidly, and the vandalism and poaching is a potential problem in the cage culture. Okay, so we have discussed today so far the pen culture and cage culture. So this is the photograph of cage culture which I have done by myself. This is the experimental cage culture at backwater of Shankar Sagar Reservoir, Vishnupuri project is Nanded, that in 2009, during 2009 and 12. Okay, in that 3 years I have completed or I have done the work on cage culture. I have cultured the Katla, Lebiorhita, Oricrus mosambicus and Cleris batrachus, 4 species of fishes in this cage culture. It is I have already observed that all the species can be potential for culture in the cages also. Okay, so in this way we have completed the 2 points in this unit, that is the pen culture and the cage culture. Okay, so with this we will stop here, and the remaining part of this unit we have discussed in a next lecture. Okay, till then, goodbye. Thank you.